This is the Louie T Network.
Louie T Live. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Winners and Losers, Week 10 edition. I didn't realize I was that late. I thought I set the stream for 10 o'clock, not 9:30, and I go down to the comment section, and I should have known something was up when I heard my phone and my tablet going nuts on Twitter, which meant you guys were already ready and I wasn't. So I should have known at that point that, bro, you're late. But then I go down in the comment section and you guys are having a full-fledged conversation without me. I'm like, damn, I'm really late. So then I went and checked the time, and sure enough, dumb Louie T, set the stream for 9:30, knowing damn well I wasn't going to be ready at 9:30. Shout out to my girl for making a delicious queso dip tonight. Damn, that was good. I just got home from work and I was starving. She made the queso. I couldn't help myself. If I would have jumped straight into the stream, I would have been on time, but come on, man. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You had to know I was jumping knee deep into that queso dip. Shout out to my babe for that queso dip. 100. All right, that queso dip off the charts. In any event, I'm not y'all friend tonight. I don't want y'all to think this is joke, hee, ha, funny. We ain't friends no more. All right, we at the week 10 mark of the season. I see double digits up on the scoreboard now. We're in week 10. This season is flying by. And now I realize I'm running out of time. And I'm not in front. So I got a problem now. So all the joking, all the jokes and the laughs, I hear your jokes, B.E. I hear your jokes, Squints 1. I hear your jokes, Money Miz 14. I hear your jokes, okay? You think it's funny? You think it's a game? It's not a game. So now, I'm about to turn it up on your ass. Okay, I'm reloaded, and I'm upset because I should have been 8-5 this week. I'm really pissed off because I should have been 8-5 like everybody else. And there were two games in particular that I wanted to switch. And I was just too lazy to go and do a video. And I didn't really think about all the different social media platforms that I had at my disposal where all I had to do was just simply send out a tweet. Hey, I'm making a change from the Texans to the Colts. Hey, I'm making a change from the Chiefs to the Cowboys. Just a simple tweet would have done just everything I needed. Would have been suffice. And no, in my mind, I need to make a video. They don't have my picks on record anywhere else but video. Dumb. Cost me 2 games. I knew the Colts were going to win that game. I knew the damn Cowboys. Once Ezekiel Elliott was cleared to play, Roger Goodell told me on Tuesday, Roger Goodell told me on Wednesday, he reiterated on Thursday, hey, Zeke ain't playing. He ain't coming back this time. Damn liar. Got my ass. In any event, though, I ain't here to cry over spilt milk. I had a chance to win just about every single game in week number 9. I was leading in this is the first time this has happened to me all season long, where in every single game, at some point, with the exception of the damn 49ers game, and if I would have known Pierre Garçon wasn't playing, I wouldn't have picked the damn 49ers. This is the problem with these damn Thursday night games, because they force you to make picks earlier than you should have to. I'm not here to cry over spilt milk, man. Don't nobody want to hear from a damn loser. I'm just telling y'all right now, we ain't friends no more. All that joking and laughing, that shit is over with. See, I'm the same cat that when I was playing dominoes with my mom, I cussed my mom out and told her she was garbage. She's never played dominoes with me since. Me and my sister, we were spades partners. I said, you're worthless. She's never been my partner again. I don't care if you family. When it comes to winning, you either with me or you against me. You either get down or lay down. Y'all done got the competitive juices flowing now. Y'all done effed up now. Ain't no turning back. Ain't no turning back. So we're going to get to these picks from last week. And I fell back a little bit in the standings, which really pissed me off. So now all I see is red. I just see red now. I ain't helping y'all out with picks no more. I ain't giving y'all explanations no more because we ain't on teams. We ain't on teams. This ain't basketball, football. This is golf. I'm by myself with no caddy. I'm out for blood, man. So I hope y'all ready. Hope you making some quality picks from here on out. Because I ain't playing no more. Playtime is over. I learned a lot in week 9. I learned a lot. The most informative week of the season was week 9. Oh, I got it now. I got the blueprint. I got the golden ticket. Here we go. But before we jump into it, y'all go ahead, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. You want your comment read, use the hashtag LouieTLive. And if you haven't already done so, donate to the channel, man. What y'all waiting on? There go the 2 ways you can donate to the channel via Patreon and PayPal. I put out a video on Patreon and how you can get exclusive content on this channel. And so check that out. The link is in the description for that video and how you can donate. And I'm working on that exclusive content as we speak for people who have signed up via Patreon and gotten with the tiers. So I ain't forgot about you, Sean Mack. I'm working on that exclusive content for you as we speak, bro. So you should be getting some of that probably as early as tomorrow. And obviously, when you first start out, it's going to be a lot slower because I got to set the template. Once I get this template set, then this content will be coming out a lot earlier in the week. So just be mindful of that. This first time around, everything's got to take a little bit of time because I have to get everything set up the way I want it so that when I go back and do it next week, it's just like that. I just got to go and make a couple of minor changes and boom, we in and we out. So hang tight there, hang tight there, Sean Mack. I got you on that exclusive content, bro. But in any event, let's get to the winners from week number 6. And I'm going to tell you what, we were so close to having our second week this season with no winner. We were dangerously close. I thought we weren't going to have any winners, to be honest. It was only 13 games. And when you have as many upsets in games that people were kind of definitive on, and it was really one of those situations where the Bills licked a lot of people down on Thursday night. And I tried to warn everybody, and that's over with. I'm not giving out any freebies anymore. I'm not giving out any advice. I'm not trying to persuade anybody or get you to pick a team because it makes sense. Oh, you know what? I didn't know that player was out. Or, nah, to hell with that. You need to know who's out, who's not playing, all that good stuff. Look that shit up yourself. I'm not helping nobody else no more. I'm being selfish. Like a wise woman once told me, it's all about me, 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 me. It's all about me, goddammit. But it wasn't about me in week 9. I'm going to tell you who it was about in week 9. PD Pablo. That was it. PD Pablo was the only winner in week 9. Celebrate, goddammit. And PD Pablo was about to change his thumbnail because, hey, PD Pablo, you're the only one that won double-digit games. Celebrate. Because I'm always making fun of his Squidward thumbnail. Hey, you don't have to change it, bruh. I will leave you alone because you went double digits. You're the only one. Kick your feet up, relax. The entire spread is yours, bro. All yours. Nobody else hit double digits. I almost find it hard to believe that you hit double digits in week 9. But nonetheless, you did it, bro. Congratulations. And hopefully you see the dividends being paid off on the standings when we take a look at that after we're done taking up all the time that we're about to take up with all these losers from week number 9. But nonetheless, man, take solace in knowing you're it, man. You're it for week number 9. Hell of a job, PD Pablo. 10-3 in a week where it was damn near impossible to go double digits. PD Pablo did it. And hats off to him for getting it done in week number 9. For the rest of us, though, you know what time it is, man. Let's go to the losers side of things. Let's go to Losersville, shall we? Take a trip. For most of us, it's a short trip. You know, we're not staying here long. But for others, like Dark Fears Fire Gaming, my guy, he's my connect in Losersville. When I need a place to stay in Losersville, I just call up my man Dark Fears Fire Gaming because I know he's got an extra bed for me. Anytime I need to stay. And usually I give him far in advance notice. Hey, man, it's a tough week. And I told y'all last week, I said, this is a lot tougher of a week. I called him, hey, man, I might be coming through. Make that bed up in the guest bedroom for me, man. Make it up. Clean up the guest bedroom. I might be staying a night or two. He said, hey, I got you, bro. You know where I live. It's all good, man. It's all love. So let's get to the almost winners. Translation, losers. Guys that went 9-4. Start with Sindeko. 9-4. And hey, look, Sindeko is another one of these cats slowly but surely climbing up the standings, man. Again, quietly going about his business, human-like. And with weeks like this, in a tough week, this was a tough week. I mean, nobody saw the Redskins winning for the most part. A lot of people thought the Chiefs were going to beat the Cowboys. A lot of people thought the Bills were going to beat the Jets. I mean, that's 3 games right there. A lot of people thought the Falcons were going to beat the Panthers after they traded away Calvin Benjamin. That's 4 games right there. You could only afford to lose 4 or 3, excuse me, if you were going to go double digits. That's 4 games that most people lost right there. Not to mention, a lot of us thought San Francisco, and then I suffered from smartest guy in the room syndrome sometimes. Sometimes I go out on a limb, I'm the smartest guy in the room. San Francisco is going to get one this week. Really, guy? Really? You deserve to take an L. Brett Hundley, Mike McCarthy, 2 weeks to prepare. Shut your dumb ass up. Take this goddamn L on Monday Night Football thinking you smarter than everybody else. Dumbass. Mr. TNA, 9-4. Leo Cease, 9-4. That's it. That's it from the 9-4 crew, man. That's impressive, actually. You know, that's as close as you get to winning without winning. And in a week where it was 1 winner, 9-4, not bad, man. Not bad at all. So salute to all those cats, even though you still lost. I can't be mad at you for 9-4. Let's go to the 8-5 cats. And this is where I should have been, and I'm still upset about that. I'm going to stop talking about it because don't nobody care. Sort of like your fantasy football lineup. Don't nobody care. Sort of like your NCAA tournament bracket. Don't nobody give a damn. That's the same way everybody feel about me talking about should've, could've, would've, but not going 8-5. Don't nobody give a damn. How about I just talk about the people that did go 8-5? Andrew Kim. Kevin! Big John. Kanye the God. B.E. MJ. Meyer. 10. So, AK continues to hover around the top 5, top 3. And he's right up there in the mix. Solid week for him. Kevin. A nice little bounce back for Kevin. Kevin had been struggling of late. Big John. I told Big John that I was disappointed in him about 3 weeks ago when he didn't send me pics. He sent me a screenshot of him actually sending me pics. I don't know how I got lost in translation, but in any event, Big John has been one of the most consistent. Him and Sean Mack have probably been 2 of the most consistent prognosticators all year long here on Winners and Losers. And that's why they're right around the top of the standings because they really don't fluctuate. They may never give you that 13-1, 13-2 week, but they're not going to go much lower than 8 or 9 wins. And he's been pretty consistent all year long. Kanye the God, he's been really bad at times this year. 8-5, not the worst in week 9, but it's obviously not the best either. BE just continues to hold on, and he hasn't been great of late, but he's done enough to stay on top. And you know what's going to end up happening to him is he's going to lead for much of the season, and then right at the end, someone's going to take it from him. I'm not going to tell you who, Louie T, but somebody's going to come take it from him, and he's going to be one upset dude at the very end because he was leading the whole time. There's nothing worse than leading wire to wire, and then at the very end, somebody taking the game from you. That sucks. That's what's going to happen to BE. And MJ Meyer, I talked about how there were about 5 or 6 newcomers that were 3 weeks in, and he was one of them. And I said, look, we're going to really find out a lot about who you are this week because you had one good week, one bad week. And so I don't classify this as a terrible week, but it's not a great week. So jury's still kind of out on MJ because 8-5 in a week where it was easy to go 8-5. Like, I could easily see how you could have 4 losses right off the bat. You know, 5 really, because I thought I should have had 8-5. So I could easily see how you could have gotten 5 losses. We probably did it in different ways because I picked the Jets on Thursday, but nonetheless, 8-5 isn't bad. So still need the jury's still out on MJ. It's basically what I'm trying to say. We go to the next group of 8-5 fivers. Pepe, Tucktown, Money Miz, Colton Campbell is the next group. And Pepe, he's another guy that is hanging around, waiting for people to slip up. And if I have weeks like I had this week, Pepe will sneak up and pass me. He's one of them cats that's right around, hovering around, waiting for the slip up so he can catch up. Tucktown has been struggling mightily. And it's good to see Tucktown starting to right the ship. But again, 8-5, nothing to brag about, but it's not terrible. I've seen Tucktown do a lot worse over the last few weeks. Money Miz, 14, back to talking trash. Bruh, you still behind me though. Catch up, you're losing, all right? But I like you back to talking trash, and I like that. Because normally when you talk trash, that means you're about to start picking some nonsense. So go ahead, talk it up, laugh it up now while you can, because I'm about to get on my horse and get my giddy up on. Colton Campbell, another one of these really consistent prognosticators, man. Colton's been really impressive this year. Every week I look up, and Colton's in one of the top 3 categories. If the top 3 are 11-4, 10-5, and 9-6, Colton's in one of those 3 categories. Every single week, it seems like. So I throw him in there with Big John, and Sean Mack is another one of these cats that's been consistent. Now, he's had a couple of weeks, but those seem like so far and few between, or so few and far between, and so long ago, really. I can't remember a week where Colton hasn't been in one of the top 3 records of the week of late. You go to the next group, BK Soldier, Sean Mack, AJ Shadow, Disco Jump Rope, Brown Shoe T2. BK Soldier has turned it up of late, man. BK Soldier, I just said, this is a young Thundercat, a young punk that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He just loves his Jags. All of a sudden now, BK Soldier, I'm like, wait a minute. You got your dad picking your picks for you? Because these are making too much sense every week. BK Soldier, all of a sudden, man, is kicking ass. Every time I look up, double digits or one of the best of the week. And 8-5, not one of the best of the week, but it's not the worst. It's damn sure not close to the worst. Sean Mack is Sean Mack. I mean, what more can I say? What more can I say about Sean Mack? This is right about where he is every week. Wherever the masses are, that's usually where you'll find Sean Mack. If the masses are tripping, Sean Mack is at 9 or 8 wins. If the masses are having a good week, he'll bump up to 10, maybe 11. But for the most part, you know where to find him. And that's why he's hovering around the top of the leaderboard. AJ Shadow, 11. Another one of these cats along with MJ that I said, hey, we're going to find out a lot about you. And just like MJ, still the jury's still out. We really don't know what to make of AJ Shadow after going 8-5 in week 9. Disco jump rope has been solid. Nothing to write home about, but hasn't been terrible either. So 8-5 kind of goes in line with what disco jump rope has been putting forth for the most part since coming on board. And Brown Shoe T2 continues to just be really good this year. Probably my surprise player of the year thus far is Brown Shoe T2. Again, I say this every week. I didn't expect this from him. He just leapfrogged me in the standings yet again. I'm tired of him passing me. Now, it's only temporary, and he only passed me by like a game or two. And I'm gonna overtake him again, if not next week, the week after. But I'm just tired of him continuing to hover around my space. Back up, give me my space. All right, we're not even supposed to be sharing the same airspace. But yet, this man has been outstanding this year, and I got to give him credit because in past years he's really struggled. That's not the case this year, man. He's figured something out. It also helps when he realizes his team isn't good and stops picking his own team. I don't know if he's committed to that yet, but I think he's coming around to the idea that, hey, we're not going to win very many more games, so I got to make sure I steer clear of my boys. And I think he's on board with that, and that's going to help him down the stretch. Dark Fears Fire Gaming, Brandon Sullivan, RJ West, Sad Colts fan, Eduardo O'Neal. So Dark Fears Fire Gaming, you know what it is. I don't have to tell you. I'm staying at the man's crib right now. It ain't nothing to talk about. This is where this man lives. This is where he resides. We know where to find him. Brandon Sullivan. I think Brandon was outstanding the last 2 weeks, much like everyone else. Brandon 8-5, not bad. Not bad at all. And Brandon was a latecomer, and he's starting to move up the leaderboard. Of course, because he came on so late, there's no way he's catching anybody of note. But it's always good to see your name go up and up and up and start to cross some of these lines. And Brandon Sullivan is starting to do that with these totals that he's been putting forth the last couple of weeks. I should say the last few weeks. RJ West, I told you his compass is starting to really line up with him going in the right direction. For a while there, RJ was lost. He didn't know if he was going north, south, east, or west. Now, I think he's going in the right direction. And 8-5, while it's not the best record, it's not terrible. And so RJ West with a quality week of picks in week number 9. Sad Colts fan has been doing actually pretty good of late, you know, and this is kind of trending in the right direction. 8-5, not terrible, but like I said, could have been a lot worse. Could have been me in week number 9. And so sad Colts fan starting to put together a string of really good weeks. Eduardo O'Neal, quietly, again, he's another one of these cats that's been a quiet assassin this year. Hasn't said much, just been making quality picks, staying away from his lines when he needs to, picking his lines when he needs to, and just finding a way to win games. And he's another one of these cats. I think he might have snuck into the top 10 this week. If not, he's hovering right around the top 10. So he's been another quality prognosticator here on Winners and Losers this year. Another guy that has surprised me this year. He's been straight asshole in the past. He's been outstanding this year along with Brown Shoe T2. As we move on to 7 and 6. And we'll run off a few here with Vegeta's Dark Side, J Cam Man, Mark Vaughn, Cloud, AP9000 to start out. And Vegeta's Dark Side, I think last week was a struggle for Vegeta's Dark Side. Let me get the records out from last week. I think Vegeta's Dark Side went back to being dark again. He was light. He was showing us the bright side the other week, 2 weeks ago. And I think last week he went back to really stinking it up. And yeah, he did. He went to 8-5 last week route. And so this doesn't surprise me that he's 7 and 6. If the trend continues, there are 14 games in week 10. He'll probably be 6 and 8 next week. If the trend continues, he's going in the wrong direction. We'll see if he keeps that up. J Cam Man, last week, J Cam Man was, I'd like to think he was in double digits. J Cam Man was, Yep, 11-2 last week. So he was another one of those 3-week contestants that I said to myself, we're gonna find out what you're really about. One good week, one okay week. Here's another okay week. So jury's still out on J Cam Man. I think MJ might be suspect. I'm starting to kind of form an opinion on MJ. J Cam Man. Well, we're gonna see 11-2 last week, 7-6 this week. Kind of a steep drop off there, but we're gonna see what happens. It was a tough week. So Mark Vaughn, excuse me. I don't even think Mark Vaughn sent me picks last week, so I'm disappointed in Mark, nonetheless. And then you want to come back and jump in at 7-6. Ain't got really much to say to you, man. Cloud, Cloud stinks. I'm gonna just be real. Cloud stinks. Let me see what Cloud did last week. I might be talking about Cloud, and he might have went 12-1 last week. I feel like Cloud stinks, but let me get my facts straight first. See, Cloud went 10-3 last week, so I'm gonna ease up on Cloud. It just seemed like every time I turn around, Cloud is checking out the property value over in Loserville. Let me see what he did. He had to kill it the week before because everybody killed it the last 2 weeks. So I'm probably wrong about Cloud. He probably been doing his thing. Yeah, I'm looking at a 10-5 like 3 weeks ago, and then I'm looking at Cloud going 10-3 last week. So yeah, I'm tripping. I don't know why. I don't know why it is. I feel like Cloud has been funky, but he hasn't really been. So 7-6 isn't what he's been doing of late, but it was a tough week, and so 7-6, it's not good. I'm not gonna lie to you. If 8-5 was as low as you should have went, anything less than 8-5 and you stunk it up in week 9. So really, all of these cats in the 7-6, 6-7, and anything below that, you were garbage in week 9. I'm gonna be honest with you. No more sugarcoating. Ain't my man AP 9000, 7-6 not good enough, bro. And you've been a disappointment this year because I expect better of you, and 7-6 is not what I've come to expect from you. And you've been giving me a lot of garbage this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ricky, Lemmeyer, Isaac, Schnook, Travis B, Alex, Young Mello. So Ricky L has been struggling, to say the least. I think Ricky might have actually had a solid week last week, though, which everybody should have. Let's see. Yeah, Rick was 9-4, so that wasn't good enough last week. So yeah, Rick's been struggling, man. Rick's been fighting a good fight, but it ain't been good enough, And so I'm gonna need him to step his game up. If I'm not mistaken, Rick's an Eagles fan, and your boys are killing it. There's no reason you can't do the same, man. I'm gonna need you to step your game up, tighten up. This is not good enough. It's not acceptable at all. Isak's another cat that I expect to be over here in Losersville quite often. It doesn't shock me when I see him over here because this is what I'm starting to begin to expect from him. Let's move a couple of these down a little bit. So I'm not shocked to see Isaac over here at 7-6 struggling to stay above the Mendoza line. But fortunate for him, he was able to do that. For others like myself, not so much. So can't even be too mad at him, but it is what it is. Travis B, I talked about a group of cats that I was looking forward to seeing what they did in week 9. He was one of them. Not impressed. 7-6, not impressed at all. And so much like I talked about with MJ and Sullivan and J Cam and all the other guys, step your game up. Next week, no excuses. Week 10, no excuses. I don't want to hear it. And it may turn out to be an easy week. I feel like week 10 is an easy week, to be honest with you. 14 games gives you an extra game to try to get to double digits. I don't want to hear no excuses next week. I love weeks like this. That's why I'm kicking myself. Because it's these types of weeks that prove your worth. Test your mettle. And I failed miserably. And that's why we ain't friends no more. I ain't chopping it up with y'all. I ain't kicking it with y'all. I ain't giving y'all advice no more. It's war now. Because it's weeks like this where I'm supposed to separate myself from the pack. And I'm over here chumming it up with y'all, not paying attention to stuff that's going on around me. And because we all buddy and we dapping it up and we all cool and everything's sweet, I ain't paying attention and I'm taking L's in the process. Well, that shit stops this week. From here on out, nothing's copacetic. So Alex and young Melo, Melo, just like the OK3, he's struggling right now. You know, young Melo had it going, and I think he was pretty solid the last couple of weeks. I'm not even going to kill my man. He was 11-2 last week. Probably was in double digits the week before that, too. If I had to guess, I'd say young Melo was double digits 2 weeks ago. Let's see. No, yep, 10-5. So he's going through a little bit of a situation, just like the OK3 are right now. They lost to Sacramento last night. And young Melo is having a hard time putting it in the basket. And Alex, I think Alex is another one of these cats that I really wanted to see more from. And Alex, 2 weeks ago, Alex was 10-5. And I think he was in double digits last week too. No reason not to be. And last week, Alex was 10-3. So I'm going to lay off of Alex right now. Next week is going to be a big measuring stick for Alex, though, because everybody lit it up the last 2 weeks. This was the week that I wanted. I wanted a week like this to show who was who, and I didn't even separate myself from the pack. As a matter of fact, I had an anvil attached to my ankle, and I sunk, while everybody else at least was able to float, tread water. My ass is over here struggling, needing a damn life-saving device. Somebody throw me a buoy. It's ridiculous. Don't worry, though. It'll be the last time that shit happens. Ginger Callum, Squints 1, Bronco Kid, Jaleel, Matt Lynch. Ginger Callum went through a really tough spot. I mean, a tough stretch where Ginger Callum couldn't get right. And then Ginger Callum snapped out of it. Now Ginger Callum may be trending back towards that rough period. We'll see if Ginger Callum can steer clear of another one of these 5-8, 5-9 debacles that we saw about a month ago when Ginger Callum just couldn't get him right. So we'll see if this 7-6 is a sign of things to come. Squints 1 talking cold, hard cash. Talking about, I say, hey, you got to get out the way. You in my way. If I'm going to get the number 1, I can't get the 1 before I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all y'all out the way. Squint said, I ain't moving. You a damn liar. You going to move. It ain't going to be this week, obviously. It's not going to be next week. But don't you trust me. Don't you worry. You can get your ass out the way. Move, Squints. Get out the way. Get out the way, Squints. Get out the way. You going to get out the way. Just like your damn Chargers going to get out the way of the playoffs. Get the hell out the way. You going to get out the way. Trust me. Bronco Kid. Just like your Broncos, you going down. And it ain't going to be pretty. It's getting ugly for your Broncos. It's getting ugly. In here. Oh, in here. Oh, in here. Oh. For your Broncos. And it's starting to get ugly here on these picks for you too. I suggest you don't follow the blueprint set by your team, but rather try to find a way to figure out a way to be the quarterback of your picks, unlike your team, and make better selections. Jaleel, are you trending back downward again, man? After we had that heart-to-heart, what'd you do last week? You were 9-4 last week. I think we're doing this again. Is this a thing? Are we doing this again, Jaleel? Is this a thing? Is this a thing? Because I think 2 weeks ago you hit double digits because you finally snapped out of your little funk you were in. Yeah, you went 12-3, right? But last week, you should have had double digits again. Instead, you went 9-4. Now this week, you're 7-6. Are you going to be 5-9 next week? Is this a thing? Are we doing this again? You let me know. I'm not sure. I'm not going to put the kibosh on you this time like I did last time. When I told you you were going to go 6-8 and you went 6-8. And you told me, I ain't going 6-8. And what did you do? You went 6-8. I'm not going to do that to you this time. I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to tell you. Are we doing this again? Is this a thing? Are you going 5-9 next week? Just let me know. Is it 6-8? 5-9? Or are you going to improve next week? I'll be waiting. I'll be watching. Matthew Lynch, I'm just proud of the fact that you came back. I think this is your 3rd week in a row, man. Golf clap for Matthew Lynch for showing up on a non-easy week. His thing was, hey, I'm going to show up, get 11-3, and bounce. Won't see y'all for 3 more weeks until it's another easy week, and then I'm going to go 12-4, and then I'm going to bounce, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go 10-3. Good to see you on a tough week, man. And now I see what you do when the going gets tough. You go 7-6. Good to see you, man. Hope you stick around for the rest of the season, man. Because your record, you had the highest win percentage of anybody because you was picking your spots. But I think as you continue to make picks every week, that win percentage will come down to the rest of the pack, and you'll just be like everybody else, ordinary people. Carmen Rana, T. Littles, Tank 3281, Dark Sealer, and Caden Boyer round out the 7-6 group. Carmen Rana, like I told you, what Carmen Rana was 14-1, like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, right? 3 weeks ago, I think it was 14-1. Now he's 7-6. I told you, you don't know what you're getting from Carmen Rana. That's my dude though. And while you bullshitting, he's right around the top 10. He's either in the top 10 or right around the top 10. So while you bullshitting, there may be highs and lows, ups and downs, peaks and valleys for Carmen Rana, but his highs are so goddamn high that they make up for the times when he decides to go 5-9. When he decides to go 6-8. He makes up for it with 14-1. So it balances itself out. T. Littles, newcomer to the show. And not the greatest entrance. Sort of like Triple H, his first theme song when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley in the WWE, when it was actually called the WWF, when I used to actually watch. His first entrance music, he was a blue blood, and it was it was really corny, and he did the whole, prissy thing, and it wasn't all that. And then he went from that to, are you ready to play? Spitting water, and it was so dope. And DX, D-Generation X. Like, you came out like Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Nobody remembers when Stone Cold Steve Austin came out with Ted DiBiase. And he had a horrible, horrible entrance music. And he used to walk around with a $1 million belt. That's how you just enter this winners and losers pool. I'm going to need you to kind of figure out your way to get your Stone Cold Steve Austin je ne sais quoi on. I need to hear the broken glass before you step out through that curtain. Step your game up. In other words, I said all of that to say this. Step your game up. Tank. You've been good of late. Now, I'm not going to kill you, but I expect better than this from you. You've put together a body of work this season that has gained my respect. Let's see. You were 11-4 2 weeks ago. You were 11-2 last week. You've gained my respect. I know when real recognize real. Man, you're looking damn familiar, okay? Game recognize game. I know I've seen you before. So I expect better than this from you. But then again, I expect better than this from me. So I'm not going to kill you, man. You had an off week. It happens. Don't let it happen again next week, though. Dark Sealer 1995. Let's see. I think you're one of these cats that you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. You were 11-2 last week. 11-2 last week. And the week previous, you were... Let's see. You were 9-6. So see, that's what I'm talking about. You're up, you're down. I don't really know what to make of, you know, what you do. You're inconsistent. You're consistently inconsistent. So you're 9 one week, you're 11 the next, now you're 7. So we got to figure out what it is you're trying to accomplish, man. If you're trying to accomplish mediocrity, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. If you want to establish yourself as a winner, that's not good enough. Caden Boyer, also talking cold, hard trash. And I think Caden just came along, started doing well, Caden was funky for like a 4-week stretch. Then Caden probably went and had himself a couple of weeks, and now all of a sudden, Caden forgot everything went all good just 2 weeks ago. Let me see where Caden was at last couple. See, Caden was probably 10 wins last week. Buddy, this 2 weeks ago. He was 9-6 2 weeks ago, but he want to talk some trash. Then last week, I'm pretty sure everybody hit double digits last week, right? Right, Caden? Say it ain't so, Caden. He had to do it last week. Yeah, 11-2. That's why he was smelling himself from last week. See, that's what happened when you let a garbage cat eat. Just a little. You give a garbage cat just a little bit of something to eat. They want to snatch the whole plate. You ain't been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy. Keep it real, partner. Your picks are still needy. All right? Don't try to front on me like you've been killing it all season long. You've been average as hell at best. And that's being generous. But you've been talking some trash of late. Then you want to come after my poor Redskins. Can we live? Or my Vikings are going to kill your Redskins. Okay. Okay. Touche, brother. Touche. I'll see you next week. 6-7, man. This some bullshit. Let me just get these out the way. MC 89, Atlas, J-Moo, Joe Sharp, everybody. Cartoon Novak. My man FBG Tony. The Mister. And yours truly, Louie T. So MC 89 is a funny guy because he went on a rant last week. Oh man, I was just playing with y'all. I'm about to get serious. Y'all ain't ready. Really? Bruh? Really? You went 7-7. 7-7. I think you was like 5-8 last week. Hold on, let me check the standings last week. 6-7. You were sipping from the piss cup last week as the worst participant. So 7-7, mediocre. 7-7, mediocre. 6-7, garbage. And now you 6-7 again. What does that tell you? I'm not even gonna go there with you, man. You digging yourself such a deep hole. I'm gonna just let you bury yourself, man. I'm not even gonna mess with you, man. You still pissy from last week, man. Go wash your clothes. Atlas. We talked last week, man. Remember last week I said, I'm gonna change your name to Atlas for a fresh start. Remember that? Remember the conversation we had? I said, hey, don't even worry about it. Don't even trip off of last week. What'd you do last week? You went 8-5 last week. I said, don't even trip off last week, man. We're gonna cut your name short to just Atlas. I asked you, as a matter of fact, what you want to be called, man? You said, man, you know what? Just call me Atlas, man. And he said it all cool. You know, hey, man, just go ahead and call me Atlas, man. I said, hey, you know what? We're going to do that. And maybe the change in name, the change of scenery will create a change in luck for you. It will create a change of atmosphere, a winning atmosphere. We were wrong. It don't matter if you DW2 Elite Atlas, 3-11 Atlas, or just Atlas. It's all the same. It stinks. J Moo, man, you probably been the biggest disappointment all year long, bro. What the hell is going on, J Moo? Every time I look up, you are bringing up the rear, bro. What has gotten into you? I don't even know you no more, man. I mean, I know you now because we rolling together this week. But I don't know you no more, man. What'd you do last week? You were 8-5 last week. The week before that? And these are the weeks that everybody killed. You went 8-5 last week. Let's see. A couple of weeks ago, you went 11-4. Let's go to the week before that, though. You were 4-10. Bruh, what has gotten into you, man? I don't even know you no more, man. I walk past you in the street, I don't even speak. We used to be tight too, man. I just don't know. Joe Shaw, we made friends last week. Remember? You went 13-0? It's a long way down from 13-0, bro. But I said we were friends. I didn't lie. You 6-7, I'm 6-7. We still tight. But if you ain't rolling with the winning side next week, we not all right. I'm just telling you right now. And to be honest with you, I don't have any friends. But you can roll if you want to, man. You can roll if you want. I got space in the back seat if you want to roll. Ain't nobody sitting up front with me. It's a dolo mission. But if you want to sit in the back, you're more than welcome to, Joe. I'm going to cut you some slack, though. You went 13-0 last week, but 6-7, it's a long way down from 13-0, bro. But again, you did something that nobody else has done, so I ain't got much more to say to you. Cartoon Novak, you were one of the several cats that came along, and I said, hey, this is going to be your third week. Really looking forward to seeing what you're going to do. Had a couple of solid weeks to start out. This is not what I had in mind for you, man. Your picks were cartoonish. But except it was really nothing funny about going 6-7 below the Mendoza line. Ain't shit funny about that. You like Wile E. Coyote right now. All the bad shit is happening to you and your picks. But again, like I said with MJ and Sully and J-Cam, I'm going to give you another chance. Give you another chance. FBG Tony, it's been a struggle for you this year, man. Again, I expected you to be in the top 10. I expected you to be up there with the rest of us. I don't know what's going on with you neither, man. I really don't know. You and J Moo, man, y'all was my road dogs. Y'all was my aces. I looked to my left, it was J Moo. I looked to my right, my man Tones. Now y'all just gone, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. The Mister, his house is right next to Dark Fears Fire Gaming, man. They are neighbors. They come outside and they talk. It's like home improvement. You remember when Tim would go outside and the next door neighbor would come out and they would talk to each other across the gate? That's what the Mister and Dark Fears Fire Gaming do. They talk to each other every morning outside in the front yard. They talk about losing and how bad each of them lost the previous week. They do it every week. They make a ritual of it. This is what they do. They love it. They love losing, man. Their motto is love, life, lose. And both of them do it better than anybody else. And then there's me, Louie T. I ain't got shit to say, man. I should be 8-5. I'm not gonna keep repeating myself though. I should have been 8-5. But there's no excuse for the San Francisco loss. Atlanta pissed me off. I didn't see the Redskins winning. I'm not going to sit here and act like I did. I didn't. You know what I mean? I thought I was the smartest guy in the room with Green Bay. I deserve an L for that one. I found out a lot about the Packers, though. A lot about the damn Green Bay Packers. Really, the second half of games really ate my ass alive. Because I picked San Francisco. I picked the Dolphins. I thought they could win at home. And they didn't get it done. So, again, that was me trying to be the smartest guy in the room. They lost 40-0 the week before. No way they're going to come out and lose at home to the Oakland Raiders on national TV again. Right? Right? Wrong. And they're going to be on national TV for the 3rd straight week. So if you haven't had enough Miami Dolphins, if your cup hasn't overrunneth with the Miami Dolphins, then get you some. We get them on Monday night versus the Carolina Panthers. So I hope you're not sick of the Miami Dolphins, because there's more. But in any event, this will be the last time you see me like this. I guarantee that. Ain't gonna be no more below the Mendoza line. Ain't gonna be no more, oh, everybody else is 8-5 and I'm 2 games less than everybody else. That shit is dead. Dead, I tell you. Diggle man, you kidding me or what, man? Let's get to the rest of these losers, man. 5-8. Smoking Jay, he relapsed. Toe he changed his name to Toe No difference. And we thought he was better. We thought he learned how to fly again. He re-aggravated the same wing, man. He's down for the count again. Who shot Hawk? 0 for 0. It's back. Like cooked crack. Damn, Smoking Jay. You relapsed. 4-9. Jazzy E. Votis. How the hell do you show up for a job interview with shorts, thong flip-flops, and a flannel t-shirt with a hole in the neck? How you do that? Where they do that at? Hey, man, I just was wondering if you guys were hiring. What, you a stoner or something? How you gonna show up for the first time on Winners and Losers and go 4-9? I can pretty much surmise by that record that we've heard the first and the last of Jazzy E. I won't confirm nor deny that, but I feel pretty confident in saying we probably won't see Jazzy E back after 4-9. There are cats that haven't played in Winners and Losers since week 1. All you had to do was show up and win 6 games and you wouldn't be in last place. You won 4 games. You lost 9. Week 9 was tough. It wasn't that damn tough. Bro, you're in last place. There are people that only competed once that are smoking you right now. Out of like 94, 93, 94, some odd competitors, you're dead ass last at 4-9. I don't expect you back. Shame. All right, man. But that wasn't the worst one of the week. What are we doing here, folks? How the hell do you go 2-11? Somebody tell me. Somebody explain to me in a week with 13 games. I almost feel like I'm being trolled right now. And I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate people trolling me. Because you gotta actually try to get 2 wins. Just 2 wins. You gotta go out of your way. And when you look at the picks that this person made, they went out of their way to lose games. Almost to the point now where I'm like, you trolling me, man. You got to be trolling me. Y'all know who it is. Bailamos. Let the rhythm take you over. Bailamos. Te quiero, amo mío. Bailamos. It's Enrique Iglesias. And he's probably been one of the worst. He's been one of the worst here on Winners and Losers all season long. All damn season long. This man has a losing record for the season. I don't know if he's ever had a winning record in any individual week. And now he goes 2-11. This is the worst record in Louie T Network history. And look, I'm tired of killing Enrique every week. All I got to say to Enrique is, hey, bruh, don't bother coming back. And I'm serious. Normally I say this in tongue in cheek. I'm serious. Take a week off. I feel like you're trolling me. Take a week off. Even if you send me pics, I'm not accepting pics from you next week. You're banned for a week. You need to go sit down, reflect on why you think it's okay to lose 11 games in a 13-week slate. Why you think it's okay to pick every single underdog and lose 11 games out of 13. Don't send me pics next week. If you want to exercise in futility, send me pics. Fine. I'm not counting them. Take a week off. I don't need pics from you. Okay? This was a waste of time. That's 5 minutes of my life I can't get back. Scratching off pick after pick after pick after pick. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. So do me a favor. You can watch the program. I'm not banning you from the channel. I would never do that. I'm just banning you from making picks. You're suspended indefinitely for a week. So that doesn't even make sense, because indefinitely means until I say so. And I'm telling you right now, it's a week. So much like your picks, what I just said didn't make any sense. Just don't come back and send me picks next week. You're done for a week, man. You suspended without pay. And of course, in the spirit of being the absolute worst ever, you get the most piss cups ever on this channel ever. Piss on them. 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 Piss on him. I don't even want to see his name. Cover him up. You will remain pissy for the remainder of the season. Even when you don't have the piss cup, your name will be pissy every single week when you are off a suspension. If you have the balls to send me pics after your 1 week suspension is up. And that's your winners and losers for week number 9. And here are your overall standings after 9 weeks in the books. Take a look. All right. Let's get to some comments quickly. And then we'll get the hell out of here. Everything's going to be nice and compacted today. in and out. John Perez says the Packers released Martellus Bennett today. Will he go back to New England, Chicago, or play somewhere else? I don't know. He sounds like he's injured in some way, shape, or form. And he said that at the end of the season, he was contemplating retirement. So it doesn't sound like a guy that wants to play football anymore, to be honest with you. John Perez says, will the Giants fire Ben McAdoo if they lose to the winless Niners, or will they wait until the end of the season? He's already lost the locker room. There's no reason to wait. If they can't beat the winless 49ers on Sunday, it's time for them to go. Two anonymous players came out today and said he's completely lost the locker room and they don't respect him. So if they go out and they lay another egg in this game, then that further proves the point that they don't give a damn. So we're going to see what happens. John Perez also says, do you see the Bears keeping John Fox beyond the season, or will they go and get an offensive-minded guy to work with Trubisky? That would be a big mistake if you ask me. The Bears have already overachieved in my mind, similar to the Jets. Who the hell thought the Bears would be 3-5 at this point of the season? I thought they would be uber competitive this year, and I told you I thought they'd win 4 or 5 games. Right now they're on pace to win about 6 games, which, again, is crazy talk for a Bears team that is severely under-talented in a number of areas, especially the skill positions offensively. They've literally got 2 running backs, and they had a tight end in Zach Miller. They don't have much of anything else on offense. So they're a very limited football team, and yet every week they're in ball games. No way you get rid of John Fox. You want to get an offensive-minded guy in there to work with Trubisky, go find a new offensive coordinator that you love. But don't get rid of John Fox. John Perez says, I heard that Sam Bradford's knee injury is career-threatening. Do you think it's time for him to retire? Does he have some football left in him? It's up to him. He's made a ton of money. You know, if he's done playing football, if he doesn't feel like going through surgeries and the rigors of having to rehab and try to come back and do it all over again, he can hang it up. No one will miss him, and he's made a ton of money. But if he still wants to continue to play, there is a home for him in this league somewhere. There aren't enough good quarterbacks. There's definitely a home for Sam Bradford somewhere. He's already been put on IR for the season. And obviously something was wrong with his knee, because we didn't even see the injury in week 1 versus the Saints. Remember how good he looked in that game? And then after the game, we found out, oh, he's hurt. And we didn't even know he wasn't going to play in week 2 until literally the day of. He didn't play, and a lot of people picked the Vikings against the Steelers in week 2 thinking that Bradford was playing, and he didn't play. And then when he came back, he looked terrible against the Bears in a half of football before they finally said, you know what, you're not right. So something's wrong with that man's knee. We'll see what happens. John Perez says, do you see Mackenzie Alexander as an eventual full-time starter for the Vikings? I don't. Something would have to happen with one of their 2 starters. If you're talking about in the slot, maybe. Excuse me. But if you're talking about out wide, I don't see that being the case. I think Zim still trusts Terrence Newman more than he does Mackenzie Alexander out wide. And Xavier Rhodes isn't going anywhere. I think they like Trey Waynes. They're going to keep trying to develop him. So I don't see that happening. Reese says, I know you predicted 7-9 for my Bucks. We may not even get there. I honestly feel that I'd be happy with that at this point. Seems like that team is another team where the head coach may have lost the locker room already. So 7-9 at this point seems like a pipe dream. I was being generous. So we'll see what happens with that. But right now, it's not looking good at all for your boys. All right. Skipped a ton of comments. So I'm going back, trying to pick up where I left off. See where we at. Let's see. All right. So they stopped me. They hit me off. And this is where I'm going to be able to pick up from. They cut off the rest of my comments. So Squints1 says, yeah, I'm good. I'll just stay here. Sure you will, for now. For now, you will. John Perez says, what do you think has been wrong with the Chicago Bears since those 85 and 2006 Super Bowl runs? Is it ownership, the front office, or bad play on the field? It's the quarterback position. It's the same thing. They've been searching for a quarterback since Jim McMahon. Literally. They've had stopgap guys like Eric Kramer, and even Rex Grossman was solid for him when he took him to the Super Bowl, but they haven't had a real quarterback. I mean, Henry Burris, Jim Miller. I mean, think about some of these quarterbacks, man. Shane Matthews. Come on, man. Think of these quarterbacks that they've had over the years, man. It's been really bad. They've been trying to find a guy. They thought Jay Cutler would be that guy, and he wasn't. So all of their struggles, I already told you, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance in this league. You want to trace the struggles of the Chicago Bears? There it is right there. You need to look no further than the quarterback position. Reese says, every time you say the word blueprint, I think of the Winning Blueprint Presents. Hey, man, you take me back, bro. You take me back. Sean Mack says, how'd you like that Ric Flair 30 for 30 last night? I actually didn't watch it, and I should have DVR'd it. I'll probably end up waiting until it comes on Netflix, but by the time I got to it, it was only 30 minutes left. I was like, I don't want to jump in at the tail end of the thing. So it is what it is. John Perez says, will Ezekiel Elliott ever serve his suspension, or will his long standoff with the league last until the end of time? It would seem like that would be the case, but this is it. Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose this week, apparently, from what I've read. But then again, I've read 17 times already that this was going to be it. And then there was another appeal after that. So according to all the articles I've read, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose come Thursday at 1 o'clock. Okay, there'll be a hearing on Thursday at 1. If Ezekiel Elliott's case will be heard, then it's a chance that he'll get to play the remainder of the season. If he loses that appeal, he's probably going to have to serve his suspension. He's going to be out for the next 6 games. So we'll see. Sean Mack says, Stone Cold was called the Ringmaster when he first came to WWF from WCW. Yeah, you remember the Ringmaster. I remember he won the King of the Ring, and he called himself the Ringmaster. Yeah, I remember that. Those were the days, boy. I remember when he made the switch to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they put out the promos. Y'all remember the Mercy promo that I had for the Mercy show that I had? The little intro I had for that. And I remember the first time he said, Austin 316 means I just whooped your ass. Stone Cold was so thrilled, man. BE says, hey, Louie, I'll give you a hint on who's going to be top next week. Me. Yeah, you might. I'm not going to debate. I don't care who's on top. Anybody can hold the spot until I get there. I don't give a damn who I take it from. It could be you. It could be Sean Mack. It could be Squints. I don't give a damn. As long as y'all keep it warm for when I'm ready to come scoop it up, it's all good with me. John Perez says, have you ever gave yourself the piss cup on winners and losers? Nah, I don't ever go that low. I've stooped to low lows. For me, never have I ever been the worst to the point where I get the piss cup. I've been dangerously close before, but generally there's going to be at least one person worse off than me. But if I get the piss cup, then it's time for me to stop making picks. If I'm that bad, then I don't need to do this. Reese says, I remember the Ringmaster. I am a lifelong proud wrestling fan, still am to this day. I quit wrestling a while back, man. It got too much for me. It really turned into a soap opera. You know, I couldn't get with it. I outgrew it. But for a while there, man, they had me hook, line, and sinker from about age 6 to about age 14, maybe 15. Boy, it was a run there. I would record every pay-per-view every Monday. I was flicking back and forth from Monday Night Nitro to Monday Night Raw, back and forth. They had me, man. It was a stretch there. You know, Bash at the Beach. What y'all know about Bash at the Beach? What you know about Halloween Havoc? Huh? What y'all know about that? Come on, man. The Great American Bash. What you know about that? Remember every month had a themed pay-per-view? See, WWF got lazy. They would have their main ones, SummerSlam, King of the Ring, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, obviously WrestleMania in March. But then all the other months, they get lazy. In Your House. Remember that? Y'all remember In Your House? Come on, man. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Let me stop messing around with y'all. Sean Mack says, my name should be Green because I'm dropping 4 Benjamins on you, bro. I'm riding with you from the start all the way to the top. Remember when you get there. I'm going to definitely remember when you get there, when I get there, because you've always supported me. More so than most cats, because there are other people that may have been here longer, but you support me with not only being here for most of my streams. Hell, when there's been streams when there's only been 10 or 15 people and you're one of those 10 or 15 people. But you also support me monetarily. And that's as big as you showing up for these streams, because in order for me to take that next step, the reason I was late tonight is because I had to go to work. At some point, I want to say, F work. This is work. You think I like being late to these streams? No, I don't like being late. But I got to make ends meet. And right now, this isn't making ends meet. One day it will. Because I'm going to continue to put in the work so that it does. But in order to fast track that, I need the help of you guys. I need the help of the viewers. And you haven't been about talk. You've been about that action, boss. And I can appreciate that, man. Every time you say, hey, bro, I got you, you literally got me. And I can really appreciate that. So I definitely will never forget you. You ain't ever got to worry about that. Ever. Got to worry about that. Sean Mack. Reese says, are we going to get a mid-season coaching fire? We seem to get one a year. Oh, there's something coming. If Ben McAdoo doesn't win in week 10 versus San Francisco, he's done. He's toast. Your boy might get it. Dirk Cutter. If this thing spirals out of control, and it very well could, because you got the Jets, and even though you're starting Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're still supposed to beat the Jets at home. The Jets ain't playing around, man. The Jets are not playing around. Josh McCown will come in your house and lead those boys to a W. So it could easily get out of control for your boys, and Dirk Cutter could be exiting stage left. There's not many more coaches, though, that I foresee getting fired. I thought at one point this season Chuck Pagano might be one of those guys that might end up being a casualty, but every time you think he's on the hot seat, he finds a way to win a game he has no business winning to give him more life. So I don't think he's going anywhere else. John Perez says, did you hear about the story about Bears lineman Josh Sitton told the Green Bay media where Mitchell Trubisky cussed out the team for breaking up the huddle early? No, I didn't hear about that. Normally rookies don't do stuff like that. You know, and Josh Sitton is a veteran in this league, a vested veteran. Generally, you don't come in a huddle as a rookie and cuss out veteran players. You know, you earn the respect of those players first, and you do that by winning ball games. Had he came in and been Deshaun Watson, then maybe 5 weeks into the season, you could come into the huddle and start cussing dudes out, because they already know, hey, he gonna be here for a while, and this dude can play some football. Mitchell Trubisky ain't did shit yet. You can't cuss nobody out. So I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know if the players were upset or if they respected him for it, but generally rookies don't do that. Ricky L says, your picks are garbage, ask BE. Yeah, they were garbage this week, man. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to see what they look like when the season's over with. That's all I care about. Right now, this is the process and the journey. And the journey has been rocky for me this year. I haven't made it easy on myself. But normally I figure out the league by around week 7. It took me to week 9 this year. But I got it. I got it now. I figured it out. VE says, how's the weather down there? 6 and 7, LOL. You talking about taking the crown from me? Ha, 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 ha. Hey, like I said, laugh it up, BE. Eat your grapes, man. Or as a wise man once told me, man, drink your milk. Eat your vegetables. You better bulk up, man. Because when I come, it ain't nothing that's going to stop me from taking what's mine. J Cam Man says, I thought you had went 7 and 6 last week. Don't jip yourself. Nah, I went 6 and 7, bro. 6 and goddamn on 7. You got me checking the picks again, but I know what I did. I know exactly who I picked. And I picked some trash last week, and I deserve to go 6 and 7. I picked the Jets, so that's 1. Jacksonville 2, New Orleans 3, Rams 4, Philly 5, Tennessee 6. That's it. That's all my wins. So I went 6 and 7. Mr. TNA says, you better hope that the Vikings defense have been partying a lot in the week off. A tough match to pick because your skins are good, but that defense is unforgiving. Yeah, nah. If they come to play ball, they should beat us. If they come to play ball. I'm not afraid of them like I was the Seahawks, though. And we're at home. So I feel good about the prospects of us maybe sneaking one from the Vikings, but it's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. And if their defense shows up and our offensive line is still banged up, we are praying that we get some of our offensive linemen back. If we don't, that defensive line is going to tear our offensive line up, straight up. FBG Tony says, my dumb ass picked the same game twice. Yeah, you've been on some other this year, Tones. One week you didn't even pick a game. Another week you did the same damn thing, picked the same damn game twice. I just don't know, man. J Cam Man says, did anyone do better than 9 and 4? Yeah. PD Pablo went 10 and 3. FBG Tony says, thought we were friends, bro. Damn. I thought so too, man. But every time I turn around, you on some other shit. Tones? Like every time I turn around, you doing some shit I can't get down with, man. I just want my mans back. That's all. I want Protect 428 back. This FBG Tony dude, I don't know this dude, man. I don't know this guy. I don't know this dude, man. Look, man. I don't know where they at, but I just want to bring the good times back. That's all I'm trying to do, Tones. I don't know where they at. I just want to bring the good times back. Mark Vaughn says, sorry, I had a death in the family. Hey, man, I apologize. Family always first. You know that. I send my condolences to you and your family, man. Sorry to hear that, bro. Really sorry for your loss, man. Sean Mack says, Home Improvement still is awesome. I watch it every day. BE says, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but you didn't go 8 and 5. You went 6 and 7. Hey, look, man, get all your jabs in, BE. And I hope you picking your stinking ass Cardinals this week. Pick them. Pick them. That'll be 1 L for you this week. Cloud says, I trusted you on the Dolphins, bro. I'm going to stop. I'm not giving no more advice. I don't want to be liable for anybody losing games, and I damn sure don't want to give out any gems. I feel like I give out 1 or 2 gems every week, and it's up to you to decipher, hey, this dude tripping like I was with San Francisco and maybe Miami, maybe Green Bay. And then it's up to you to decide, hey, man, he on to something with these Jets. I'm not doing that no more, though. You ain't got to worry about that. Sean Mack says, will Matt Moore get a win against his old team? Is he starting? I mean, Jay Cutler's starting, right? He didn't hurt himself. He didn't re-aggravate, right? Matt Moore shouldn't be playing. Last time I checked, Jay Cutler back. Andrew Kim says, Vontae Davis getting season-ending surgery, probably his last season as a Colt, too. Free agent in the offseason. Any teams you think would sign him even after injuries and age? I don't think Vontae Davis is that good. He's always injured. And he's getting up in age, just like you said. I don't think he's that good. BE says, can we just put Hawk out of his pain already? Oh, man, Hawk. Bro, you hear the way they talking to you, man? They talking dirty, greasy about you over here, Hawk, man. You know, you still my guy. We go way back, Hawk. Way back. I'm talking about watching you on your channel play games on the computer in the dark. Go back. I'm not pronouncing you dead, but they trying to. They trying to have a funeral for you, Hawk. I hope you using this as motivation, because they over here killing you, bro. Mr. TNA says, with 71 and 55 where I would have been in winners and losers standing if I could have sent the picks from week 1. So you would have probably been somewhere around 19, 20, give or take. Somewhere around there at 71 and 55. FBG Tony says, I'm still your road dog, broski, but just not my year. Hawks year or J Moo's year. A-Lou squad, let's bounce back week 11 through 17 home. Gang, gang, gang. Hashtag gang, gang, gang. Hey, bro, what about week 10? You said 11 through 17. You skipped 10. I'm getting my shit together this week. I can get on at 11 through 17 with you. We can go gang, gang, gang. But I'm starting mine this week. So I can't roll with you on the weeks 11 through 17. I'm starting mine in week 10, bro. Ezak Schnook says, I expect more from you. I do too. That was what was so disappointing about this week. I expected more. And I didn't produce, man. Mr. TNA says, who was your all-time favorite wrestler? Oh my gosh, it's not even close. My favorite wrestler was Oozing Machismo. Hey, yo. It ain't get no cooler than Razor Ramon, man. The bad guy. Razor Ramon. It didn't get no better than that, man. I didn't even love him when he was Scott Hall. I was a Razor Ramon guy. His music was dope. His matches was dope. The gold chains, telling the ring bearer, hey, don't you F around with my chains before every match. He had storylines, even though I was always mad because they never let him win a WWF championship. They let him win the Intercontinental belt like 8 million times. He was a tag team champion a couple times, but that championship belt was elusive for him. He could never, when he first got into the WWF, and it was a big deal. If you remember, they had a whole bunch of vignettes for him. He was coming for like 3 months. And then when he finally got there, that was the only time he was a real threat to win a WWF championship. And he lost to Diesel, and that was it. He ain't never get another shot. He was always a damn Intercontinental champion, but he had all the best storylines with the 1, 2, 3 kid, with the crybaby match. He had they stole his chain. They stole his chain, so he had a, I'm trying to think of who stole his damn chain. It was, everybody used to try to steal his chain. I think one time IRS stole his chain. $1 Million Team stole his chain, so he had a beef with them. Damn, he was dope. That was my dude, man. Anyway, don't get me started on that. S. Kennedy says, how do you submit your picks via phone, Android? I had a tweet, and I can't find the damn tweet. I'm going to have to probably do it again. I'm going to have to direct you on how to do it. I had a tweet. If somebody got that tweet, please send it to him. I got to find that damn tweet. BK Soldier 2010 says, yo, Josh Doxson looks like a younger Louie T. I told you, I get that all the time now. And he actually does. I can't deny that. If I would have told you that was my brother, you guys would believe me. Because we do actually look very similar. Andrew Kim says, how many times did you facepalm checking Enrique's picks this week? I was flabbergasted when I looked at his picks. I'm like, this has got to be some kind of a joke. Like, I'm going to scroll down and he's going to be like, man, I'm just bullshitting. Here go my real picks. I was waiting for something like that. Like, okay, yeah, no way. He didn't just pick, like, every team that was an underdog. He didn't just do that. Like, he didn't pick the Denver Broncos. He didn't just pick the Redskins, which that was one of his 2 wins, coincidentally enough. Like, he didn't just pick the Redskins, the Broncos. He didn't pick the 49ers. He picked he picked all of these teams. The Giants. He picked all of these. I'm like, he got to be bullshitting me. Where's your real picks? He's like, nah, bro, these are my real picks. Get out of here, man. You trolling me. No, I'm serious. No, seriously, get out of here. Get your shit and get out of here. Mr. TNA says, how is the Seahawks defense when it comes to running? Because if they're not very good, I am now thinking of going with the Cards with no QB. They stopped the run pretty well. They had some issues earlier in the season. They got gashed early, but they fixed that since then. They've made some moves, and they've kind of solidified the defensive line. They're playing good football up front. It's tough to run on them now. But if you can run the football, you may be able to run on them. Because the Texans 2 weeks ago ran on them. The Redskins just can't run the football. So you may be able to run on them. It's not out of the realm of possibility. FBG Tony says, what? 2-11? What in the effery? He said he's either trolling or he's jerking off all season long instead of watching football. He got banned for a week. Damn, bro. He can't come back for a week. He's got a and Enrique, that's my dude. But he can't come back next week. Mr. TNA says, my bad, Lou. 71-45. Broncos are very bad now, but at home against the Pats, they are playing incredible no matter how they are. Look out for that D in a surprising close game. You might be right. But with no quarterback, I don't think they're going to find a way to win that game, though. That's the thing. Vincent Phillips says, could you see a 10-6 team missing? I said that yesterday. What video? I said it twice, yesterday and on Monday night. I said in the NFC is such a tough conference. It's realistic that a 10-6 team could miss out on the playoffs in the NFC this year. Just think about it. You got an 8-1 team in Philadelphia. You got 3 6-win teams, New Orleans, Minnesota. 4 6-win teams, New Orleans, Minnesota, Carolina, and Los Angeles. 4 6-win teams to go along with an 8-1 team. Then you got a number of 5-win teams. I don't know if there's a ton of those. There might be 3 or 4 of those in the NFC. Dallas is a 5-win team. Seattle is a 5-win team. Right there, I just gave you 7 teams in the NFC with 5 or more wins right now as it stands. And I may have left somebody out. I'm trying to think to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. And then there's a bunch of 4-4 teams. I could easily see, but the beauty of the NFC is those 7 teams that I just named, they're about to beat the hell out of each other over the next 6 weeks. All of them, in some form or fashion, are playing one another. The NFC is gonna cool each other off. Okay, shit's about to get real. The Rams got to play the Eagles. The Eagles got to play the Cowboys twice. The Redskins got to play the Vikings. The Redskins got to play the Saints. The Vikings got to play the Lions again. Like, they're going to beat each other up. The Seahawks got to play the Rams again. So, while everything is nice right now, it's going to level off. Like, everybody ain't going to get to be nice. New Orleans got to play Carolina again. So, it's going to change eventually, but it could happen, no doubt. S. Kennedy says, so far the Redskins have the 7th most difficult schedule. How does KC and Seattle travel to Texas? I don't know. We're going to find out. BK Soldier 2010 says, after this week, I'm going to jump you in the standings. Okay. I like your confidence. It sounds good. But are you Bret Hart? Are you the excellence of execution? Or are you Owen Hart? God rest his soul. May he rest in peace. Are you just a little nugget? You're going to find out. J. Cam Man says, something always has been wrong with Bradford's knee. They replaced Bridgewater with a guy with a history of knee problems. What did they expect to happen? I don't know. He's always been injured. B says, you keep saying you're going to take the crown from me, but all I hear are words. And guess what? Actions speak louder than words. I told you, I'm done talking, man. I'm done. I'm just going to sneak up on you. I'm just going to sneak up on you. That's it. That's all. I am, though. Michael Thompson says, what are your thoughts on Porzingis? He's a beast. Sean Mack says, am I the only person to ever actually wear a dunce cap? No, I wore one too before. Remember, I started the dunce cap. I put one on my head, and then you had your daughters make you one, and she made you a really dope one, way better than mine. But, yeah, I wore the dunce cap first. Enrique Valencia says, I will bounce back, and I will be in the winner's side soon enough. Believe that. All right, well, you'll have a whole week to reassess what's good and not good, what are smart picks, what are not smart picks, and maybe you too can find yourself in the winner's circle. John Perez says, it's honestly sad how far the 49ers have fallen because they were one of these iconic franchises with a great tradition of winning. Can they ever get back to that? Sure they can. They've got the right people in place. I love John Lynch and what they've done since bringing him, and Shanahan on board. A lot of the moves they've made have been for the best. And they're turning that roster over. They're getting guys that they feel like are going to help them win moving forward. I like what they're doing. And they're gonna be competing. Not necessarily for the division, but they're going to be competing in that division. All they need is a quarterback. Reed says, I don't know why I still watch wrestling. I have my whole life. It would feel weird not to. Sean Mack says, you forgot War Games with WCW, bro. I didn't forget. I was going through a bunch of them, and I said, because War Games actually used to come to VA. They had World War III here when they would have the 3 rings. But I wasn't going to name every single pay-per-view event, but yeah, it was crazy. FBG Tony says, yo, what the hell? The salsa guy finished 2-11. What the F, bro? Damn, homie. I thought you were the man, homie. Damn, stop watching porn and start watching football, bro. Hey, Enrique, man, you got to tighten up, man. That's ridiculous. Reese says, asking for your sage wisdom here. Will Colin Kaepernick ever play in the NFL again? I don't think so. I think I thought he was at first. I wasn't buying the whole collusion thing at first. I was like, he's just not that good. But then when I looked around the league and I saw some injuries to teams that ran a similar style offense, like when Miami suffered their injury and they called Cutler instead of Kaepernick, I said, okay, Adam Gase worked with Cutler before. That's not that fishy. But then when Tennessee had an injury and they instead went out and got Brandon Weeden instead of Cap, I said, all right, man, y'all bullshitting now, man. There's a conspiracy going on because he would have fit that system perfectly. You're not telling me nothing. You're going to tell me the Texans couldn't have used a Kaepernick on their team? Now with Watson out, you telling me they can't use a Kaepernick? Come on, man. Ain't no way. Ain't no effing way. FBG Tony says, Louie, I'll donate, bro. Much love, bro. Been a fan for years. Look forward to continuing to watch your channel grow. Man, I appreciate that. I really do, man. Really, really do. Reese says, how's life, man? It's been better. But I'm never one to complain, man. I'm here. I'm above the dirt. So I'm blessed. But, you know, I've seen better days, man. My truck, she's down and out for the count, man. So I've seen better days. Mr. TNA says, as a Romanian and watching a lot of sports, seeing NFL rules when it comes to celebrations, is it really stupid how bad people are not letting celebrate after a great TD? The celebrations have been awesome this year, man. They've gotten really creative with these team celebrations. I've really enjoyed it this year. The NFL really dropped the ball for not allowing these for years, and I'm glad that they came to their senses and allowed teammates to celebrate. Reese says the Bucs situation isn't going to get any better. In fact, I think it's going to get worse. What up, Mac? J Cam Man says Josh McCown versus Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's something poetic about the two biggest journeyman quarterbacks facing off. Not sure if McCown has started for all of his teams. I don't think he has. I don't know if he started for every team like Fitzpatrick has, but normally with McCown as well, he's going to get in there too. Whether he's with the Cardinals, with the Raiders, with the Jets, with the Browns, McCown is normally going to get in there. With the Bucks, McCown's normally going to get in there and get him some starts. So I think both of those dudes have pretty much started everywhere they've been. John Perez says, off subject, basketball question. Have you ever considered doing Memphis Grizzlies videos? I actually like the Grizzlies, but I think the Pelicans are going to take a significant step this year. I actually did a video on my other channel, Louie T Sports, a Grizzlies video last playoffs, but the NFL is so time consuming. Like, I want to do some more NBA videos. Probably if I did NBA videos, it would strictly just be Grizzly videos. But it's just, I don't have the time. You know, the NFL takes up so much of my time, maybe in the offseason. And even then, the NFL is a year-round chore. You know, I mean, as soon as the season's over, boom, we jump right into draft talk. When the draft's over, I'm breaking down everybody's draft. By the time I finish that, I get a little bit of a break, and boom, regular season is upon us. So, kind of hard, but I love my Grizzlies, man. Love my Grizzlies. Jazz E. Voted says, sorry for a poor performance. Don't be sorry. Be careful. Don't be sorry. And I know you're a loyal viewer, so I expect you back. Mr. TNA says, I'm not happy with 9-4, Lou. I should have listened to my gut and went with Cam and the Skins. 9-4 was outstanding, honestly, this week. It was one of the best records. You were only outdone by one person. So while you shouldn't be happy, you not being happy with 9-4 shows me how much of a competitor you are. Most people would have been content with 9-4 this week. Jazzy Votis says, I will be back. I'm eating next week. Sounds good, man. I hope you're right. The food is right there in front of you. It's called your picks. Eat, bro. Eat up. Reese says, damn, Lou, the Colts are a shit show. They are. But really, it's more along the lines of their head coach, who I think he's a good dude. I think he's a really good defensive coordinator, but He is not a head coach at all. Chuck Pagano is not a head coach. John Perez says, Deion Sanders suggested the Cardinals should trade Patrick Peterson after that sideline outburst a while back. It's absolutely stupid that he would even mention them trading Pat. It's just because Pat P is his boy and he wants to see him go somewhere where he's got a chance to win. And Pat P, to me, is the best corner in the league. And you feel like his talents are being wasted in Arizona because their window is closed. They're not in a position to win for the next 5 years because they don't have a quarterback. And, you know, you hate to see the best corner in the league on a team where he's not going to have a chance to win. And I think the frustration from Deion is like, Deion was the best corner in his time, and he was a hired gun. Wherever Deion went, that team won the Super Bowl. There was a 3-year stretch of wherever Deion Sanders was, that's who won the Super Bowl. He went to Dallas. He went to San Francisco, those teams. It was crazy. Wherever Deion was, they won the Super Bowl 2 years in a row in Dallas. And then he goes to San Francisco because San Francisco couldn't beat Dallas. And he goes to San Francisco, and then they beat Dallas, and they win the Super Bowl. It was crazy. Wherever he went, the balance of power shifted in the NFC. And I think he views Pat P as a similar type of player. Like, you could go somewhere and be the difference of a team getting over the hump. And that's the only reason he would say that. Mark Vaughn says, thank you. For what? For what, Mark? B, says, damn right, I'm picking my Cardinals. And remember what you said in the breakdown the other day. If we win, we will have a serious debate of the Cardinals making a run for the playoffs. I'm a man of my word. If you and your boys go on Thursday night and find a way to beat the Seattle Seahawks, we will have a discussion, a real discussion about your boys making a run at the postseason. We will have it on Thursday Night Football overtime. But I don't plan on having that discussion. Sean Mack says, I got a feeling Jay Worthless is going to get hurt. Oh, that's why you made that comment. I got you. I got you. Mr. TNA says, for you, might be an easy week. This is a horrible week 10. I see a lot of tough matches to pick. Cards versus Hawks, Skins versus Vikes, Jets versus Jets match, Giants versus Niners, Saints versus Bills. I don't see a lot of hard games. I see a lot of opportunity games. I figured out the league now. So I got a good handle on what's going to happen in most of those games. I'm not going to go perfect. I know that. I'm aware of that. But those games that you mentioned, most of those are the tough games. And you didn't even mention Cowboys, Falcons. That might be the hardest game of the week. So while I said it's easy for me because I know what the hell's going on. I figured it out. Sean Mack says, hate to burst your bubble, but Scott Hall is a complete dick in real life. I've met a lot of them in person, even ate with some of them at IHOP, Denny's, Cracker Barrel. Some are cool. I know he's an ass. I never said I liked Scott Hall, the person. And I watched, he used to have an internet show on YouTube. And, he had a big addiction problem. He was an alcoholic. He was on painkillers and drugs. There was an E60 about him. I remember him beating the hell out of somebody for talking trash about Owen Hart. Forgot who he beat the hell out of at one of these award shows. No, he's not the greatest human being in the world, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the dude was an awesome wrestler and his persona as a wrestler was outstanding. But no, I'm not saying that he was a great guy. He's got some real asshole tendencies. I've seen him. Reese says, I remember when everyone told me I should hate Razor Ramon, but I kept thinking to myself, this guy's pretty cool. He was supposed to be a heel. He was a heel. When he first came to the WWF, he was a heel. You weren't supposed to like him. But it was so funny, though, because he had that. And it always happens in wrestling this way. You start out as a really bad heel, and then over time, you're so bad that people actually gravitate towards you. He was one of those guys that when he first started out, they used to boo him. They hated him. He was a heel. And then because he was so bad, he became good. And everybody loved him. And he made that heel turn. And or he turned from a heel to a good guy. I forgot what they call good guys in wrestling anymore. I'm so rusty. But he made the turn to a good guy, and the rest is history, man. Let's see. J. Camman says, "Oh my God, McCown and Fitzpatrick are both playing against their former teams. That's why I picked the Bucks. Forgot about the McCown Bucks era. My Fitzvenge theory doesn't really work here." No, it doesn't. Sean Mack says, "On the plane ride from hell, Sean Waltman shaved off Scott Hall's eyebrows and he had to pencil them in for a month." They were best buddies, him and Shawn Michaels, Diesel, all of those guys, Kevin Nash, Sean Hickenbottom, all of those guys were like best friends. Remember when they broke character? Triple H, all of them broke character. They hugged when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were leaving the WWF, and that was their last night. And they broke character and hugged each other. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember the 1, 2, 3 Kid Razor Ramon match. The Crybaby match was one of my favorite matches. Of course, his ladder matches were epic. Him and Shawn Michaels put the ladder match on the map. Remember, they had the first ever ladder match. And, oh, by the way, Razor Ramon won the first ever ladder match at WrestleMania in 1995. They made the ladder match popular. But anyway, enough wrestling talk. John Perez says, "I know you once got asked a question about this, but how did you become a Memphis Grizzlies fan?" It's a long story, bro. I told you I'm going to tell y'all one day, but it's too long. I can't do it right now. Falcons Fury. Jags could beat the Pats. Pats have been giving up sacks. Jags get sacks. Bortles will beat Brady. Damn, am I high? Maybe. It's possible. Falcons Fury says, is the AJ Green fight a good or a bad thing for Ramsey? Now he has a reputation of getting in the minds of receivers. He would have had fun with a guy like Odell. Ramsey's an ass, and everybody already knew that. He was arrogant coming out of Florida State. He's always been one to smell himself. He talks a ton of trash, and this is not going to be the last fight that he gets into. Trust me. There will be more of these brush and dust-ups with other receivers around the league because he's a guy that loves to talk. Sean Mack says, "Bam, you named my all-time favorite wrestler, Bret the Hitman Hart. Met him at a convention for people that had strokes like we did. He's nice as hell in person and the best ever." I'm just glad he's still alive, man, because he was battling a ton of different things. He even had cancer. I was like, man, hope it doesn't get him. So I'm just glad to know he's still fighting, man. He's probably the best technical wrestler I've ever seen. Falcons Fury says, Dan Quinn is still a good coach, right? And I love Porzingis. Yeah, I think Dan Quinn's still a good coach. They're going through a little struggle with these new coordinators, more specifically their offensive coordinator. But guys need to step up. You know, they could put it as much of the blame on Sark as they want. Guys got to make plays. They had no business losing that Carolina game. Guys got to make plays. Simple as that. Your best players need to make plays. Matt Ryan got to hit Julio Jones for a touchdown on that first drive. Julio can't drop that touchdown on that fourth down, wide open in the end zone. Your best players got to make plays. Sean Mack says, now I remember that dunce cap, LOL. Yeah. Exactly. Reese says, Kyrie Irving is putting on a show. He looks like a man on a mission. Meanwhile, Cleveland can't win a damn game. Yeah, it's crazy right now how that situation's going. But it is what it is. You know, he wanted to spread his wings, and now they've won 10 straight. Falcons Fury says, man, you know my Falcons hangover when Julio, I can't even say it, Julio drops a wide open touchdown. I feel you, bro. Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy? Which one had the blonde hair? Whichever one stuck around in WWF the longest is the better one, I think. Or it might have been the one that went to ECW. I can't remember, man. I get them. That's when I I was just on my way out of wrestling when the Hardy Boys and what was her name? Luna? What was it? No, I'm thinking of Luna Vachon. I'm tripping. What was her name? The Mexican redhead? I can't remember her name. But as they started to come in, I was just on my way out the door. Just about on the way out. Mr. TNA says, America says a lot about democracy, free speech, and others, but when you say something like the majority don't agree or you do not like Kaepernick, you are sabotage. A lot of talk, not true. Mr. TNA says the Grizzlies are the most underrated team in the NBA. Now that is true. That is a fact. But we're underrated for a reason because we don't have enough firepower to beat the best teams in a 7-game series. Now, I will tell you this. Our bench has never been this good before. I think we have a legitimate shot to make noise in the Western Conference playoffs. Got to get there first. But if we stay healthy, we'll be a dangerous team this year. Cloud says, speaking of basketball, can we talk about how Ben Simmons is a stud? Yeah, he is a stud. And it's crazy. He's doing all this without being able to shoot a damn jumper. At some point, defenses have to make this guy shoot the basketball and stop letting him drive to the basket. Reese says, what are your thoughts on Deion's time with the Redskins? He was okay. At times, he stole a check. At other times, he was still good. You know, he was way past his prime when we got to him, but I don't blame him for getting a check. Mr. Snyder was, at that time, he was stroking the check for any big name out there, and Deion went and got his hands on some of that bread. I'm not mad at him. Falcons Fury says, man, I'm not about to waste my time putting picks on ESPN. I'm bringing my talent to the lab room to tear shit up. Woo! Okay. Well, you know where to find us, man. We waiting on you. I want to see what you got. Mark Vaughn says, what's wrong with the Atlanta Falcons? It's hard to really put my finger on it because when I look at that team, if you ask me, talent-wise, they're better this year than they were last year. They're actually better talent-wise. But they're missing, I can tell you one thing they're missing for sure. They're missing Kyle Shanahan. That's what they're missing. And it's noticeable, but guys just got to perform, man. Guys got to perform. They're not using the running backs effectively enough either. They're not throwing the football to those running backs out of the backfield. That's a big-time weapon that they're not using, and I don't understand why. Mr. TNA says, Cowboys-Falcon not that hard at all. Dallas will win. Okay. Fair enough. Falcons Fury says, bruh, I love primetime, but what he did Romo dirty, that was hella over the line. I wasn't mad at him. I wasn't glad at him, but I wasn't mad at him. I posted it out on Twitter. I tweeted it out on Twitter. If you haven't seen it, check my Twitter page if you want to see what Deion Sanders did to Tony Romo. Or just type it in on YouTube. You'll find it that way as well. Falcons Fury says, so did Vince screw Brett or did Brett screw Brett? Oh, that was a straight Canadian screw job. That was straight Vince all day, every day right there. You know that. Reese says, did you hear about Jalen Ramsey's comment about AJ Green? Man, I would love that guy on my team. Yeah, I heard his comments, and that's why I don't nobody like him. That's why he's going to get in more fights, because he talks trash. Hell of a football player, though. But I don't need that kind of heat. If I'm a team, I don't want that kind of heat, because he's going to get thrown out of more games. Officials are going to be looking at him now. Sort of like Josh Norman with Odell Beckham. Like, Josh Norman wasn't the instigator there. Odell Beckham was, but because he got into that fight with Odell, Josh Norman is a target. You know, referees look at him and like, hey, we don't want no trouble. He's like, what you talking about, man? I'm not a troublemaker. That's going to be Jalen Ramsey now. Sean Mack says, he didn't beat the guy up at the Real Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Kansas. He dressed him down verbally because so the writers made fun of Owen Hart. Stu went into the Hall of Fame that night. Yeah, I knew it was something crazy like that. I mean, he went off on like a tirade or something like that. Yeah, there it is. Face is a good guy. Yeah, I knew Heel was the bad guy. He was a heel, like I said, when he first came into the WWF. Angry Birds of Chaos says, tell me why won't my Texan sign Cap? I mean, he's the best option, and Bob McNair would get some respect back after his comments. Because he might lose more revenue than gain respect back by signing Cap. It's about money. Okay. Sean Mack says it's Michael Hickenbottom, and he's a douchebag too. Yeah, him and Scott Hall are kind of cut from the same cloth. They're really good friends. I remember listening to Scott Hall talk about both of them damn near dying together. You know, like they were trying to kill each other with drugs and alcohol. So, yeah. Man, I ain't talking about no house show Sean Mack. I'm talking about on pay-per-view. I'm talking about the first big ladder match that everybody got to see. Not a house show. But you're probably right. Mr. TNA says, it's good you are not watching wrestling because now it is the worst possible. I outgrew it. I really did. FBG Tony says, just sent my picks in 10-4 or 9-5. I'm calling it, damn it. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Travis B says, Patrick P better than Xavier Rhodes? Come on, man. Rhodes closed all day. I take Patrick P over Xavier Rhodes, man. I'm sorry. Does the X-Man travel? I swear he's strictly on the left side of the field. I don't recall seeing him. I think he does travel. I take that back. But I swear he's on that left side of the field more times than not. Pat P, he'll even follow your ass to the slot. Like he's one of the few corners that wherever the best receiver for the other team is, you'll know where you're going to find number 21 at. Sean Mack says, Jeff has the blonde hair and he left for TNA. Lita. I knew it started with a damn L. I couldn't think of it. Thank you, Sean Mack. Yeah, it was Lita with the red hair. She used to do all them damn flips just like the rest of them damn Hardys. Falcon Fury says, I hate how all these wrestlers from the 80s and 90s going out because of mental health and drug addictions. Chris Benoit spelled it wrong. Story breaks my heart. Man, them dudes was doing drugs heavy, and not just drugs like painkillers. I'm talking steroids, man. Dudes was dropping left and right, man. A lot of your favorite wrestlers, I mean, Macho Man, a lot of these cats died from steroids, man. You know, it caught up with them finally. You know, years of abusing that stuff. You know, even Scott Hall said he abused steroids. I mean, he was huge before he got to the WWF. So go back and watch him when he was in the Southern Wrestling Federation thing they had going on down in the South. And he was huge, like a bodybuilder. What? Jeff has the blonde hair, which Sean Mack told me he has had the more successful career. He's even been he won a championship? See, that's why I can't watch wrestling. See, people like him were never, back in my day, people like Jeff Hardy never would have sniffed up. He wouldn't even got a shot at the WWE title. Or, I don't even call it WWE. He would never got a shot at the WWF title. He would have always been a tag team champ or in that mix with all the tag teams. He may have ventured out, won a lightweight or intercontinental belt, but never would he have even been in the discussion for a WWF championship. That's crazy. Angry Birds of Chaos says, what if it's a Chiefs versus Eagles Super Bowl? Andy Reid versus old franchise. That sounds like a good game, perhaps. That'd be crazy. It really would. And that would be the biggest storyline, would be Andy Reid against his old team, for sure. And then, of course, you have the angle of Andy Reid versus his pupil, teacher versus pupil, because Doug Peterson was under Andy Reid. And remember, he spent the vast majority of his career as a player, as a backup quarterback behind Donovan McNabb under, of course, Andy Reid. So that would be a storyline too there. Falcons Fury says, man, my Clippers aren't better off without CP3. Blake is better off, though. You knew they weren't going to be a better team. But, you know, Blake would get to spread his wings and show what he's fully capable of. Because when CP3 got hurt the first time and Blake was playing, he was balling. So we knew he was capable of this. But no, they're not a better team. Austin Rivers is not better than CP3. John Perez says, how heartbroken were you when you found out Sean Taylor was killed? I was devastated. Absolutely devastated. We were right around the same age when he passed away. His daughter was just born. My daughter was just born. So there were a lot of similarities. He was turning his life around. And not to mention, he was one of the greatest safeties I had ever seen in my life. Not to say he was the greatest safety ever or, you know, better than Ronnie Lott. I didn't watch Ronnie Lott live. You know, I saw the tail end of Ronnie Lott's career, you know, when he was with the Raiders. I didn't see San Francisco 49er cut my thumb off so I can play Ronnie Lott. Sean Taylor was the greatest safety of our lifetime, of our generation, and it was cut short. He was like a shooting star. Falcons Fury says, the same reason Ramsey is hated by opposing players is the same reason he is the second best corner behind Pat P. If the trash Ramsey was saying was a lie, they wouldn't care. Ramsey's a hell of a corner. I'm not taking that away from him. And I don't have a problem with his play, you know. And if you can get away with it, do your thing. It's sort of like Dennis Rodman. If you can still play at a high level and get into the head of the opposing player, why not? Sean Mack says, I'll drop some pro wrestling knowledge on your ass, dog. I see. No, Richard Sherman doesn't travel, Sean Mack. You're absolutely right about that. Falcons Fury says, oh, by the way, Ramsey ain't no stranger to the slot, left or right side. I got to see it. I haven't seen a lot of him in the slot. But I know he ain't afraid to move around either. Yeah, I know how he died. You think that was an accident that he had a heart attack, a random heart attack after all these years of abusing steroids? That wasn't a random heart attack, Sean Mack. That was not a random heart attack. Same with Ravishing Rick Rude. You think that was a random heart attack as he's going? It wasn't Ravishing Rick Rude. It was the Ultimate Warrior who died walking to his car, passed out, collapsed from a heart attack. Think that was a random coincidence? Ravishing Rick Rude. You think that was a random Mr. Perfect? You think these are random occurrences? These were all guys that were huge steroid users. These aren't coincidences. Macho Man, Mr. Perfect, Ravishing Rick Rude, Ultimate Warrior, all of these dudes were notorious steroid users. Angry Birds of Chaos says, who's winning NFL and NBA MVP? Right now, the Greek Freak looks like the runaway favorite in the NBA. In the NFL, if he doesn't fall off the wagon, it's Carson Wentz. You like what I did right there? Sean Mack says Undertaker was the biggest pusher for Jeff Hardy to get that belt. He RVD'd for it. I got you. Okay. That's crazy. That is crazy. Falcons Fury says, oh, China was on some good stuff too. A lot of crazy-ish. Her and X-Pac crazy ass did the dirty too. Yeah, she was on some BS too. She was wilding. Yeah, that's crazy. You said Jeff Hardy is a 3-time WWE champ. What the F? See, that's crazy. It's crazy. Wow. FBG Tony says, if we lose Kirk and the Colts were even to entertain trading Andrew Luck, will you shoot your shot at that trade, bro? I don't know, because I'm hearing that this shoulder injury, a lot more serious than we initially thought. That scares me. Because you're talking about a shoulder. We ain't talking about a finger or ankle. We talking about a shoulder. That's scary. Sean Mack says, I don't know about greatest of our lifetime. I think Taylor and Ed Reed would be 1 and 2. Ed Reed, because of the longevity of what he did, might be the best. But Sean Taylor was going to overtake Ed Reed if he would have played the amount of years that he was supposed to play. If his career wasn't tragically cut short, there's no doubt in my mind Sean Taylor would have been the greatest safety that most of us would have ever seen in our lives. I feel 110% confident about that statement. FBG Tony says, Sean Taylor was the most talented safety in our generation and almost the GOAT talent. RIP. Hashtag balling in paradise. Dude was ridiculously good. Falcons Fury says, is Keanu Neal playing well this season? I think he is one of the few guys playing well on the Falcons. Yeah, he's a beast. He was an animal in that Panthers game this past week. 2 forced fumbles. The first play of the game, he lit the running back up. Jonathan Stewart lit his ass up. Keanu Neal's a ball player, man. I love his physicality. Love what he brings to the table. All right, these are the last comments right here. Reese says, everyone sleeps on Brent Grimes, Lou. Not saying he's the best corner in the league, but he's always been productive. No, he's a real good corner. No doubt about that. Let's see. Sean Mack says, Henning OD'd on cocaine, bro. Yes, the steroids caught up to their hearts. Yeah, and a lot of them taking drugs too. Painkillers, cocaine, they doing all of that stuff, man. Speed, all of that stuff. So, wrestlers live a crazy life, man, because they got to go out and perform every day or they don't get paid. So it doesn't matter if you can't miss shows because you're hurting. So what do? You take painkillers. Well, what do you do to ease the pain of taking the painkillers? You drink. And it's a vicious cycle, man. It's rough on those dudes, man. I feel bad for them, but that's the life they chose. Falcons Fury says, give me your favorite Stone Cold Steve Austin promo. My favorite one, by far and away, it's the easiest one, is when he says, you looking for mercy? Take your ass to church. It's this long, drawn out. It's like he was fighting Bret Hart, I think, leading up to like a match between him and Bret Hart. The one where I think he ends up passing out from the sharpshooter. I think that was the match. Don't quote me on that. But they had you remember how wrestling used to be when they would put together these long ass vignettes on like Sunday. Remember Superstars on Sundays? I'm so old. I gotta stop. I'm so old. I'm done. That was my favorite one though. And let me read this last comment. I'm getting the hell out of here. John Perez says, what's going on with the Phoenix Suns? Just a few years ago, they were in the conference finals. It wasn't a few years ago. They were in the conference finals a decade ago. They've been pretty bad for quite some time, man. You thinking about the Quentin Richardson, Amari Stoudemire, Steve Nash days. They haven't been good since 2006, bro. Maybe 2008, maybe. But yeah, it's been a long time since they were relevant in the NBA. In any event, that took a sharp turn left. But as always, I'm your man, Louie T. Thank you guys for joining me, man. It's been a blast. Obviously, I need a platform where we could just talk about anything. And I have a show that I want to do. And hopefully I can do it next year. And I got a great idea. And if I get the space for it, you guys are going to love it. Because obviously, you guys love talking about a lot of different things, not just football. And I'm well-versed, as you can see. So these are always fun. But in any event, I got to go. And so I leave you with my picks. Remember, we're not friends. So these picks are going to be a lot different than what you're used to. But in any event, if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Here are my Week 10 winners coming at you right now. And I'll see you tomorrow for Thursday night football overtime. Enjoy. See you tomorrow. It's your man Louie T here to give you my Week 10 winners. The good guy suffered a setback last week as I went 6-7. A little perturbed about that because I feel like I should have been 8-5. There were two games in particular, Cowboys and Chiefs, Colts and Texans, that I wanted to change my picks to. Found out some information for both of those games. Obviously, the Deshaun Watson injury altered my thinking in the Colts game, and Ezekiel Elliott's suspension being delayed yet again when the NFL told us that there was no way he was going to get off the hook this time. Changed my mind in that game, but I didn't feel like coming on the air to change those two picks. And so I took L's for them. And so now as I see the weeks in the NFL turn to double digits, now my competitive juices are starting to kick in. I'm actually getting pissed off now. And I'm an ultra competitive person. And so now I'm starting to feel like there's a competitive advantage that I'm giving out to everybody else when I give out my picks, because I'm swaying some of you to make better decisions with some of your picks. And it could go both ways. I could sway you in the opposite direction and you could turn out to be a loss. But I feel like I'm offering up some gems when I give you some of these picks and you guys are piggybacking off of some of my picks because of my rationale. I'm giving you some information and you're starting to think about it and you go, you know what, that's a good point. And so you know what? To hell with explanations now. I'm focused now. I'm on nobody's team. I'm helping nobody else out but myself. It's all about me. I'm being selfish. I'm ready to win. And so here are my Week 10 picks. No explanations. I'm giving it to you raw, straight, no chaser. Here we go. Thursday night football. I'm taking the Seahawks. You've got Sunday matchups. I'm taking the Bills. Then I'm taking the Bears. Then I'm taking the Lions. I'm taking the Steelers. Then I'm taking the Jaguars. Then I'm taking the Jets. I'm taking the Titans. I'm taking the Redskins. I'm taking the Rams. And now this one I'm giving you a little bit of explanation for. And I'm going to reiterate this on Twitter. Anytime I want to alter a pick, I'm going to do it via Twitter. And there will be proof on Twitter that I made the change before the games got underway. So here is my if-then scenario for this game. All right. You guys don't have to do the if-then thing. You have a platform which you can change your picks. All you got to do is go in and make sure that you change your picks underneath your comment. Don't edit or else you'll get a loss. Make sure you go under and comment to your picks and make the edit there. But in any event, if-then statement for you here. If Ezekiel Elliott plays, I'm taking the Cowboys. If he doesn't, I'm taking the Falcons. It's cut and dry. It's very simple. If Ezekiel Elliott's suspended for this game and the next 5, give me the Atlanta Falcons. If he somehow survives Thursday's hearing and he is able to play yet again, I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys. Giants at the 49ers. I'm taking the Giants. Then Sunday night football, give me the Patriots. Monday night football, I'll take the Panthers. So quickly to recap, Seahawks, Bills, Bears, Lions, Steelers, Jaguars, Jets, Titans, Redskins, Rams. If-then scenario for Cowboys and Falcons, Giants, Patriots, Panthers. You have my picks. There they are. Once we find out more after Thursday, I'll let you know what that pick is definitively when we find out if Ezekiel Elliott is suspended or not. And those are my picks. I'm not playing no more. See y'all next time.